Welcome back, everyone, to Bullish Project episode 9. Today is going to be a very, very special episode because I have my friend Devin, who's joining the podcast today as a special guest to talk about something that I struggle with so much. So, this is going to help me. And if it helps me, I know it's going to help a lot of you. I'm so excited for this episode and to get his expertise. Devin, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yo, what's going on, dudes? How's everybody doing?
For real, man. It's so good to talk with you, bro. Like I've been
Yeah,
wanting to
dude.
do this for the longest time, trying to get a guest on here, not really sure how to do it. I think I got a nice setup. You'll have to check this out when we're done because the setup I got is pretty cool for
Really?
guests. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen it set
It's
up like a while back, and it looks really dope.
dude, and this one is just very simple. I made it in just a few minutes, but I like it. So if you see the YouTube version, you should let me know.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
hell yeah.
so basically, what we need to talk about, something that really in my mind crosses my mind all the time. Like, do I go to the gym? Do I not go to the gym on a daily basis? It's a struggle for me. And honestly, I just had a few questions. The first one that I just off rip, I just want to start with some juicy details. How do you stay motivated in a gym? Like that is the number one question most people are wanting to know. Bro, I gotta ask. Like I see you in the gym all the time.
Mhm.
What do you do to stay motivated, man?
It's a very touchy subject as well. Like many people don't know how to stay motivated, and many people fail. It's just one of those things that it's a hit or miss. And for me personally, there's a lot of ways I can stay motivated, like such as social media or like motivating myself is very, very, very hard. I just social media is a very, very big thing because I watched a lot of TikTok, and TikTok for me is one of the biggest motivational things that I can do. Not only can I make my own content, but I can also sit there and watch videos that will make me learn and try to force me to do things that I know I need to be doing. And if I know that I'm not doing something in the gym that I should be doing, like, using proper technique or doing like a certain workout that I should be doing or focusing in a certain group on a certain day instead of veering off into something like one day I'll be at the gym, doing I should be doing legs, but then like, I'm not feeling too motivated to do legs right now. Maybe I should just do chest or something like that.
For real, damn, I feel
Yeah.
that hella, dude.
Yeah,
Like, cause when
dude.
I go to the gym, man, I'm just wanting to do all chest all the
Yes.
time, like swole
Uh
as hell.
yeah,
That's
and
what I
like
want to do, man. I can't balance it, man. I feel like that's part of my problem too. Like how do you keep it balanced? Because like you just said, man, I don't want to do legs today. So do you just force yourself, or do you say, I know I gotta do this? Is
yeah,
it discipline? Like, how do you keep on track, man?
it's pretty much all of the above, man. Like when I go to the gym, you're going to the gym to work on your body, okay, and improve on your body, not only how it looks but how it feels. And so, if you're going there and you're skipping certain body parts, you're gonna feel unproportionate. You're gonna feel like not only unmotivated, but like what's the word? Unprogressive, you can say. That's the
Sure.
word I would
Yeah.
use.
Yeah.
You're
Unprogressed.
not.
Sure. I We'll go with
Yes.
it. I don't know, but
Yeah.
keep going. Keep going. I love it.
Yeah, like I don't know. I guess my mind tries to veer off of things that I think would find easier. So that happens with a lot of people as well.
For sure, dude. For sure. It happens with me, man. That's why I'm doing this episode. Like, this is
Yeah.
so much valuable for me as it would be other people. And I think part of the reason why most people don't go to the gym is because they don't know where to start. So my next question would be like, where did you start? And if you ever get off track and you don't go to the gym for a while, how do you re-enter the gym? Because it's almost like use it or lose it. If you
Hmm.
don't use it, then you get out of that mindset, that routine, and then it's like now I have to start all over. So whether it's your first time or you just haven't gone in a while, how do you get yourself over that hump? Because I'm actually in that spot right now.
You are.
I talked about this on the last episode, but shout out to my boy Jacob. He's been training me for the past month or two, once a week. And that is my intro into the gym again, just once a week. Can I keep it going from there is the question, which I'm going to try my best. But for you, man, how does that work? How do you get
O-
started or how do
Okay.
you re enter the gym?
Yeah, like first off, man, once a week is better than not going at all every week. You know, everybody has to start somewhere, and that is a perfect way to start. As long as you're making that goal for yourself and you're sticking with that goal, whether it be going every day of the week or 3 times a week, that is a very, very good goal. And not only for somebody who's a beginner, but it's good for somebody who's intermediate. It's just one of those things that you really have to focus on as well. And not only that, but getting to the gym, getting yourself to the gym when you're not feeling like going is like very good, because once you get there, you're just like, okay, now I'm here. Now I'm here, you know? Doesn't matter what I do, now that I'm here, I can actually feel somewhat like I've pushed myself. And that for me, oh, I love that for me. Like for me personally, whenever I go to the gym, my gym's right across the street. So it's just like, I have no excuse. If
Right.
I have an excuse for why I can't go to the gym, then it's probably got to be something pretty major.
Dude, that's me too. Cause dude, I work across the street from Planet Fitness. And you
Ah, so
know
you're
how
the same
easy it is
way.
for me to literally just I could walk there, I could go before
Yeah.
work, shower, change, go to work, I could go after work, just bring a change of clothes. It's so easy, yet I find myself making so many excuses not to go. It's so crazy.
Yeah,
Like
like and do you know, whenever you're going to the gym, how do you feel? Do you feel exhausted? Do you feel energized? Do you just like not know what you want to do? Do you have these sort of thoughts when you go to the gym, or when you want to push yourself to go to the gym?
that's a good question. Like so I do actually, and that kind of brings me to another point. Like, I guess it's about the mindset too. Like, you kind of have to be in the right
Hmm.
mindset to go to the
Hmm.
gym. Because for me, I always just blow it off because I'm like, nah, I don't want to do this today. And I feel like part of it for me getting into the gym for the first time or just re-entering the gym or whatever, like, the only reason I got back into the gym and back into that morning workout routine, or in this case, it was evening, so whatever routine it is for you, but I hit up my boy and I said, "Hey, I need to get back in this routine." I said, and it's expensive, man. Personal training is not cheap. So
Yeah,
for
it's
me, it
not.
was a big sacrifice. I'm like, okay, I gotta eat out 1 time or 2 times less a week, and I love my food, so it's like, so on top of
Hmm.
that, I gotta save money from eating out, and that might be a barrier for some people too, is cost. Like, a lot of these gyms are not free. Most you might be able to find a community gym here and there, and some of them are cheap. Like, I have a subscription to Planet Fitness. It's what, $10 a month, $20 a month. That's not too bad. So um, some people it might be cost. For me, it's just I think it's the accountability, and I think I'm lacking the accountability in terms of being by myself. Like, sometimes I just can't get myself to go, but if somebody else is there, I don't want to let that person down. So then in my mind, it just switches. Like, my whole mindset switches from I don't want to do this to okay, I have to do this. I don't want to let my friend down, even though I'm paying for it, and I could just easily say I can't afford it, or whatever. I could just make it an excuse. It's about like that personal connection, that reputation with your friend, where you don't want to let them down. I think that's a good motivator for me. So I'm trying to play into
Yes.
that because I used to have somebody to go to the gym with all the time. We would go all the time, literally after work. It was one of my coworkers. And, obviously we get busy. He's got his own life. I got my own life. We don't have the same schedules now. So it kind of varies. Like, we get off at the different times. So then we kind of fell off, and I didn't keep that discipline to go myself. So I think for me, the mindset for me is just like, if I got somebody else wanting to go, it's just an automatic, okay, let's go. But if
Hmm.
if I have to force myself to go, that's where I struggle for sure, for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah, like going by yourself, man, is one of the hardest things to do. So when you have a buddy, like it makes it a whole different ballpark. That you have somebody to motivate you, and knowing that you're not going to the gym alone is such a big motivator, dude. Like back in the day when I first started lifting, me and my best friend Santiago, uh, he would always say, "Hey, man, we got to go to the gym after school," and it would be like 4 o'clock. I'm like, damn, I don't know if I want to go to the gym. It's gonna be a long time. Just I don't feel like doing it. And then he would just like motivate me and push me and talk to me. And on the same on some other days, I would do the same for him as well. And I would always end up going. And we would always make so much progress, man. It's it's actually like something that people don't keep in mind a lot of the time. And that another thing, like that correlates with going alone. It makes it harder going alone because then you're so used to having a gym partner, and that there is why a lot of people probably do struggle. When people start going to the gym, they're probably going with a friend, such as like you said, your friend is a personal trainer, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have that and you stick with that for a while, and then say, oh, I'm going to try without like personal training now, and he can do his own thing and I can do my own thing, that is where a lot of people start to veer off, and just they don't like, what's the word? Um, they just stop going to the gym, and
Right. Yeah.
that,
I
yeah,
get
like
you.
when you don't have somebody going there with you,
Of
it's just
course. I mean, it
a
breaks the
difficult thing.
routine, right? If they're used to going with the or going to the gym with somebody, then it breaks their routine. If that person isn't going, well then not only do they have an excuse not to go, but they're just not used to going by themselves. So maybe in their brain they haven't clicked in like, hey, I just need to do this for myself. They're doing it
Yeah,
with the other person. So and that's me for sure because that's why I quit, you know? And I used to go
yeah,
to the gym by myself all the time before um I got comfortable with that. I was working out with my sister. Me and her would go. We had the same goals, so it was just easy for us to go because we had the same goals too. I think that's important. Like, what are you trying to get out of the gym? Because if you have certain goals and the other person you're with has different goals, it's kind of tough because then you guys would almost be working out alone anyway, even though you guys are at the gym together. Like if say for example I just want to work on cardio and you want to work on strength training, like, and that's a pretty consistent basis, it's going to be tough for us to work out together. But for me, I'm a social bird, so like what we're doing right now with this podcast, I like to talk about stuff and really just talk in general to my friends and sometimes random people. It just depends. Like when I'm at work, I'm in my comfort zone so I can talk to people and just in general. I also have a guided um not like notes, but I have similar things that I say to most customers as far as my job, what I do. So I'm comfortable with that too. So that might be something else. If people are just aren't comfortable with it and it's
mm,
new to them. And I think most people just gotta realize, especially myself, like everybody starts at the first day, you know, with when they're going to the gym, they gotta start being the skinny kid or being the overweight kid like me or whatever it might be. You got chicken legs and then somebody made fun of you for having chicken legs. Like
yeah,
people just don't understand that the other person that's saying that to you has some sort of problem that they're trying to cover up.
yeah. They're there.
So
They're there with you for
exactly.
for probably some of the same reasons.
Yeah.
They're
So and
just
they're
they're
trying to
just saying,
buff up, you know, because they're
yeah,
the skinny kid. And it's
just
like
trying to stroke
everybody's
their
got
own
their own
ego.
reason. Yeah. Everybody's got their own reason to be at the
Yeah,
gym. So
man.
you just gotta remember that because the person you see that's super swole, that's super like the rock looking kind of dude,
Yeah,
like
those are
that
the type
dude.
of guys. Those are the type of guys that'll push you and motivate you.
Yeah.
Honestly, each person that I've come across in the gym, and it's my local gym, and each person that I come across that seems like they're intimidating, they're one of the best people you can come across in the gym, man. They just make you feel like you're not alone, and if you have anything or any questions, they're always so helpful. So not everybody's always like that, but there are those people that will make you feel negative and put you down, and they're just people that you have to disregard. You have to focus
Yeah.
on your own self, man. Like, you're not there to worry about what somebody else thinks. You worry about what you think, and you can't let somebody make you veer off into something that you already feel negative about.
Yeah. Of course, especially if you're insecure, because then you take that person's opinion and you really let it sit in instead of just brushing it off. So, and then it just makes you not want to go back. You know, Planet Fitness,
Yeah,
they say like, oh, judgment free zone. But man, people judge all the time. And that's the
all
biggest
the
problem.
time,
It
bro.
doesn't matter. You could say judgment free zone. You could say judgment zone. People are going to judge anyway. It doesn't matter. But if you're just focused on what you're trying to do and your goals, then eventually you're going to get there. And you don't have to care about what somebody thinks. You don't have to care about if somebody thinks you can do it. And you definitely don't have to care about if somebody thinks you can't do it. And it's whatever you want to do, and you can use that as motivation, use that as fuel to try to get to the next level. Because I tell you what, the hump of just showing up, like if you just show up,
Yep.
That's a game changer because then it's like,
Always.
okay, now I'm here. What can I do to make the most out of this trip to the gym?
Exactly.
And and then once you're there, the first 5 minutes, you got to warm up. I normally start out on a treadmill just to warm up, or an elliptical or something, get the muscles moving and stretch them out and warm them up and all that.
Yeah.
And then once I'm done with that, I'm like, cool, let me hit a few machines today and then let's make it a productive day. I feel good after that. So that biggest hump for me is just getting there and like the first 5 minutes, man. It's tough. It's so
Yeah,
tough.
yeah, dude, a while back, I swear to you, this made me think about something that happened a while back. I was not feeling the gym, okay? This is one of the days that I was just at my low. I did not feel like doing a damn thing. But yet again, like we said earlier, I had somebody to go with me, so it just made that goal of showing up to the gym. And once I showed up to the gym, I was just like, okay, now I'm here. It's time to get everything going. Let's get into a routine of what we've been doing. And I stretch. I stretch my legs, I stretch my back, and I stretch for a longer amount of time than usual because, I'm trying to what procrastinate working out. That
Of
happens a lot
course.
as well.
Done
Yeah.
that before. Yeah.
Yeah, and then a few minutes prior to me showing up to the gym, I take pre-workout. Pre-workout is one of my main motivators as well. It gives me this big huge dose of caffeine, which not everybody it might not be safe for everybody. But for me personally, since I'm used to caffeine, it really really helps me. So I took caffeine before I went. I got to the gym, which was the goal in the first place, and I stretched, and I ended up having one of the best leg workouts I've ever had in my life. It was so extraordinary to see that I could do that, and to know that not every day that I go is going to be a bad day. That really helped, and I do it a lot.
Yes, dude, perfect. I mean, because for me, I'm actually the opposite of what you said. I don't do the caffeine, so I think holy cow, I struggle the most because I don't do the caffeine, and I just get high on natural, like, whatever they're called, the
Dopamine.
and dopamine, endorphin, whatever they
Yeah,
are, like
yeah. I
all
think
the
I
all
think
the
it's
crazy
endorphins. Yeah,
chemical words, man. I ain't a doctor.
endorphins.
I don't know
Yeah.
what those are. I just know it makes me happy. So
Like when you
yeah,
get a runner's high or something like that.
yeah, so for me, I
Yes.
can get a natural energy boost from just after the first 5 minutes.
Honestly, drive on that for as long as you can because like I said, when you become codependent on something that's gonna cost you money and probably make you addicted, it's a big risk. And if
Yeah,
you can't control yourself with that, not only will you lose money, but you'll lose motivation if you don't have the pre-workout.
yeah, like a crutch too. Oh
Yeah, it's
man,
a
dude,
crutch.
don't even get me started on crutches, bro. I'm telling you, like the figurative crutches, man. I feel like a lot of people, including myself, like in certain situations, they use things as crutches to get through that situation.
Oh yeah.
And for me, it's like, oh, I use music as a crutch a lot. I feel like most people can't work out without music, and that's not a bad thing. I just love to feel like I'm pumped up, like listen to some Excision
Yeah.
or something, like give me that bass music. And
Exactly.
there's no problem with that, but it is a crutch because sometimes without music, people are just like, oh, I can't do this. I need music. And it's different for everybody, like if you can just be in your own zone no matter what, music or not, and just really get a good workout in. And like I said, it doesn't matter. I'm a music guy. That's what I do. And pumps me up. And especially without caffeine, that's super important because
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm feeling a drop, and then the drop comes, and I'm like, yeah, let's get this set of 10 in. You know what I mean? You know what
Yes,
I mean?
sir.
And I get this adrenaline rush. It's crazy. It's
Yes.
crazy.
The whole music thing, man, is very important. Like for me specifically, not for everybody. Like you said, for you, it helps you. It's a big motivator, isn't it?
It
Like
is, dude.
for
100%.
for me, whenever I'm trying to gain strength or just do reps in general, music and listening to the beat drop really really pushes me because it might be just the adrenaline rush. I don't know what it is, but that is like what music does for me. It makes me push myself,
Yeah,
and I listen
for
to it
sure.
so occasionally. I listen to it every day, and if I don't have it, it's yeah, like you said, one of those crutches, and it shouldn't be something that you do rely on, but we all do it.
Hey, but like I said, it is not a bad thing, man, because
No, it
like
is not.
music, it's like I don't want to sound like I'm hating on something you love because like I do it too. Like I said, it's
Yeah.
not a bad thing, but like if you got the music and that's what makes you happy, that should be what you do anyway. You know what I mean? Like you
Hmm.
shouldn't even worry about needing it or addicted to it or whatever. Like if it
That
makes you
too.
happy and it's not harmful to you or other people, like just do it. It's
Exactly.
music ain't
Yeah.
hurt nobody. Music make the world go around. You know what I mean? Like nobody cares
Exactly.
about that. But I was just saying, like, to open up my mind and other people's minds of like self awareness, like, what do you do on a daily basis that you probably could just cut out this part of your life that you're using as a crutch? That's just an example,
Yeah.
but
So
it's not a bad thing. Like, I don't see that as a bad thing. If I was to say, like, some people use like, oh, I'm not going to do this because I need somebody with me to do it, like what we talked about earlier. I feel like that's a
ah,
crutch because
yeah, mental
they're
crutch.
yeah, because they're just like they tell themselves that they can't do it without that person. And it's fine because that's what I use to get into the gym, but at the same time I know that I could go by myself. It's just it's a weird balance, you know what I mean? Like I go back and
Yeah.
forth sometimes, like, oh, I can definitely go by myself to the gym and I'm good. But it's also the mindset too, because what stops me from going to gym is not I need somebody. It's more or less just getting into the better mindset of I need to do this for my physical health. I need to do this to be in this routine and to look good. Because like when you look good, you feel good. Like the haircut thing,
Always.
like the NFL players, they get their haircuts every week or whatever. Look good, feel good is a really big, I want to say like maybe a placebo effect or whatever, but it gives you the confidence to just like go out there and not be afraid to do stuff.
Yeah.
So when you're looking good and you're feeling your best, that's what makes you feel good, like for sure.
Yeah. Like after going for so long, okay, and the whole looking good and feeling good, yeah, that comes as you like work out and go to the gym. So if you're watching what you eat and you're paying attention to what you're doing in the gym, and you know you're progressing in certain things that you need to be progressing, your body's going to change naturally over time. And when you start to see that change, you will have this boost of euphoria, and just you will feel so motivated, probably the most motivated you've ever felt in your life. And you'll start to fit better in your clothes, and people will start noticing. And not only that, but you'll start noticing yourself, like I said. And
Yeah,
that right there is a huge motivator,
for
especially for
sure.
me, because when back in the day, man, whenever I was like 200 pounds, 220 pounds, something like that, and I started running every day. And like I was running about 2.5 miles every single day. I was watching what I was eating, and I just started. I looked in the mirror one day. I was like, "Wow, I'm really starting to change." And once you have that, you can start going as much as you possibly can think of. Sometimes I wanted
Yeah,
to go twice a day. The gym is where I wanted to be. It was like a home.
yeah, a hundred
And
percent.
yeah, like just seeing your progress and being proud of it is one of the big key factors. But at the beginning of working out, that comes with time.
Of
And
course.
that's where people lack. And you have to stay consistent. Consistency is key, as the saying goes.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like I would be in a far better position if I was more consistent, if I just was a little more patient, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
if I
patience
could
is
just stay
key.
in the mindset every day when I wake up, like, okay, today's the day where I'm gonna see some changes, even though I don't. But if I
Hmm.
can keep that mindset of like, okay, today's the day and every single day is the day, then I'm always gonna go to the gym and I'm always gonna feel that way. And it's
Yeah,
important to take your rest days too. I think 3 to 4 days a week is fine. That's what I'm trying to get into the routine of. Like I said, I started with one day a week, just about a month, 2 months ago, and he's giving me some exercises to help with my flexibility and stuff to be able to actually do the motions and the workouts correctly with good form. So I'm learning all of that now. And
yeah,
when I go on my own, I'll have an intentional goal and an intentional routine to do. I feel like sometimes I get in a place where, oh, I'm not going to go to the gym today just because I don't know what to work out. My legs are sore, my arms are sore, whatever. And some people don't realize that you could literally just go to the gym and pedal the bike for 20 minutes and you're done. You could
yeah,
go to the gym and do something super small just to feel the productive feeling, and
Yeah,
then when you're not sore the next day as much, you could go back and do the legs again, and then rotate through the arms and whatever it might be. So sometimes I lose sight of that too, where it's like you just need to feel productive, because if you don't have an intentional routine that you're doing, you're probably not going to do it. An intentional goal, like if you don't know why you're going to the gym, you're probably not going to do it. So sometimes finding those few things and those few pieces and put them together will help too, especially if you're trying to lose weight or get bigger or whatever, because those are long-term goals and it's easy to lose sight of that on a day-to-day basis.
yeah. I seen this video a while back, and as you said, like making goals and everything, like getting on the treadmill and only doing it for 20 minutes. That right there, making such a small goal. That's what I want to talk about. I seen a video a while back, and it was talking about, manipulating your body for the better good. And it talked about making really small goals and completing those goals. And when you set this goal in your mind, you have and you complete this goal, it sets off something in your head that makes you feel like it gives off dopamine. I think that's what it is. It gives off dopamine. So when you make small goals and you complete those goals, like even if they're big, you know, you start to feel more motivated. And that's something I've used a lot here recently, because once I seen that video, I was just like, wow, this is really informative. And that's like another thing that goes with social media as well. You can learn so much on social media, and knowing that has really helped me, and I'm sure it might even help you. Did you even know about that?
Well, social media, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm, ta-
Because
I'm talking about making.
I know about social media, but
I
like,
know, I know. I'm talking about making goals, and
oh yeah, okay.
and then feeling good about doing them. Did you know it gives off dopamine?
No, actually, I did not. I did not. Where
Yeah,
did you learn that? Not on
I
social media, but who did you follow?
I don't even freaking remember. I really don't. I just remember seeing it on TikTok. That's all I remember.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and that's why like I did a social media episode. You know, my thoughts on social media, like I don't believe that social media is a problem. I think the person who's using it for the wrong reasons is where the problem lies,
Hmm.
you know? If because like you said, you're just using it for education sometimes and entertainment. I use it for entertainment, whatever, everybody does.
Yeah.
But education too, like there's a lot of neat things you can find on there that are like, simple life hacks or whatever, but also if you're intentionally searching for workout videos, motivational videos on TikTok, and you find this rabbit hole of videos and you eventually learn a bunch of stuff about it, education is also a big factor too. Like if you just don't know what you're doing or you don't know how to start, then you just need to take a few hours or whatever, learn about it, learn about some workouts that you can do if you're trying to bulk up, like learn about those routines. It's super important because without that, you just wouldn't know where to start, and you wouldn't have a guided direction.
Yeah, education is very important, because if you go to the gym and not knowing what you're going to be doing, why are you there?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, one of the main things that you should be focusing on and educate yourself is knowing how and when to avoid injury. Form is one of the biggest things. That's why personal trainers, like you said earlier, is very big key. For me, I've been in the gym since I was in middle school, and I've learned how to do it over time. And in that time, I've made mistakes that have, like, my shoulder doesn't work as good as it used to, and my back pulls a lot easier because I don't know how and when to stop pushing myself. So, yeah.
Dude, I mean, injury too. Like, somebody goes to the gym for the first time, they do something the wrong way, they get injured. Do you really think that person's want to go back to the gym? Like, do
Fuck
you really think they
no.
want to? Like, exactly. They're gonna think, oh, I'm afraid of that now. I got some not necessarily traumatizing memories, but like they're just gonna associate the gym with like a bad place and a bad memory. They're not gonna go back if something like that happens.
Yeah, it's like, why do you think some of these moms won't allow their kids to go to the gym?
I didn't know
It's
that. Is that a thing?
yeah, that is a thing, man.
Is it really?
Yeah, these moms are like, "Oh, I see all these things online. You're gonna get yourself hurt, honey," and I'm just like, that's not true. As long as they're practicing safe workouts and learning how to do things properly, they'll be okay.
Yeah. I think what's super important is not cutting it out in general. Doing it the
Exactly.
right way is key. Yeah, for sure. Definitely not because, like, obviously, physical activity is a super big part of our lives in terms of whatever goal you're trying to do. But the main goal for everybody would just be to be in a better shape. And
Yeah.
that, I mean, that's super important because if you're not in your best physical shape, comes with a lot of health problems, comes with a lot of mental
Hmm.
problems as well, like depression and insecurities and stuff. It's just if you're on the other side of that, and if you can get into the mind frame, because I'm right in the middle. I'm not super big. I'm not super skinny. I'm definitely not in good shape. So I'm in a good spot to where I can start and kind of stick with it for a while. It's probably gonna take me 6 months to be in the shape that I want to be in, and for anybody else, it would take at least 6 months, sometimes longer. So, like I said, long term goals, because if you can just keep that mindset, you're good. But
Yeah.
cutting it out, no way, no way. I did
No
not
way.
know that was a thing.
Yeah. It's a very big thing, man. And
That's crazy. How
another
old are those
thing,
kids? How old are those kids?
th-
Under 18, probably.
they're probably in high school. Yeah. Like it's just I've seen it online, and it's just it's just barbaric how these parents think. I think if you have a school or a lifting team, or you have somebody that knows what they're doing, always seek them out and try to not only convince yourself that it's going to be okay, because if your parents are sitting there telling you, oh, this is dangerous, don't do this, then you're like, oh, this is dangerous, then I should not do this. And that gives it a bad rep, and most people will just veer towards something else, and that won't help them, like eating unhealthy, or it's just I hate the bad rep it gets sometimes. It really ticks me off.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't know that, so that's interesting. And it gets a
Yeah,
bad rep for a lot of reasons, like I said, the judgment earlier, or
that too.
whatever it is. But the most important, I think, one of the most important things anyway, because there's a lot of topics we've talked about, a lot of different viewpoints. One of them regarding that for sure is going to be the failure piece, because there's going to be a lack of education and a lack of experience at some point when you're first starting, to where you're going to mess up, and that's everything. That's going to be anything you try. If you're new at it, you're going to mess up, and that's how you learn, because your mind goes through that experience, and then when you realize it's wrong, you're like, okay, let's not do that again, because there's physical motion attached to it. There's like an actual visual representation as well. So if you see it and you're doing it at the same time, you're less likely to do it if you know it's wrong, especially if it's a bad form, or if it's, I mean, it's mostly a bad form if what you're talking about is true, because it would lead to injury and
Yep.
all that. That's probably the main thing for that mindset. But if you're doing something and you got a bad form and you do injure yourself, okay, cool, lesson learned. But you got to be determined to get back to that, because it's important, like, and it's not always a bad thing. Like, I don't know. That's interesting to me. I like working
Oh,
out, especially when I'm done with it. I feel like, man, I feel good. Like, you feel
oh
tight, your muscles
yes,
feel tight. Mm,
yes.
that's a good feeling.
You get that good pump
But you
going.
gotta work hard for
Yeah,
it too. That's the key piece there. You gotta work hard for that good feeling.
yeah,
It's
for
delayed
real.
gratification.
Yep. I want to veer off to another subject here, and it's mostly about it comes with motivation, but it's not something that's entirely very touchy when it comes to a subject. Uh, Mental awareness. You know a lot about mental awareness, don't you? Because me personally, it's something
Yeah.
that I struggle entirely with, and like you said earlier, failures with for me throughout my entire lifting career, I feel like failures have been always something that I deal with. I fail a lot, especially in the gym, at home, not making certain goals, and it's something that I need to overcome. And everything that we talked about in the past on this podcast is stuff that will help me like making notes for this podcast has really helped me realize, damn, there's a lot that I could be doing, and to push myself to go to the gym, and not only that, but to better myself at home. Because eating it, if you're not eating right, you're failing, and you can't just expect to go to the gym and eat whatever you want. That's not how the world works. That for me, that's a failure if I'm not eating correctly and I go to the gym. And that demotivates me in such a way that I don't go to the gym as much as I should, because I'm just like, oh, I'm not doing this right. So it feels like I shouldn't be going to the gym anyways. And that's just not true. If you're staying consistent with the gym and you're eating whatever you want, that's a start. That is something that you should be proud of. That is a goal that you should be proud of. And if you're making stuff like that, if you're looking at it from a very good perspective, it will help push you. And eating healthy is something that I've struggled with for so long, and I'm pretty sure it's a big thing for a lot of people. When it comes to eating healthy, man, you feel so much better. So it's easier to stay in the gym. It's easier to stay motivated. It's easier to do so many more things. And if it were me, I would want to start focusing on eating healthier, because that's personal preference. It might not be the same for everybody. Maybe it's just maybe people are already eating healthy and they feel like they've all the snacks they've had, it just adds up, and it ends up taking a crash on their body. And so you can like cut out some junk food and then go to the gym. That some people don't struggle with that, but it's something that I struggle with, and it might be something that other people might struggle with. So it's something that I can really relate to. Do you struggle with that?
Dude, come on, bro.
Do you?
You know me, man.
Like,
Like, yeah, I eat pizza all the time, and actually, I cut it out to where I really don't eat it that often anymore. So I think self-awareness plays in this too. You just have to really think about your routine and what's holding you back. For me, it was pizza. I cut it out. I don't eat it as much anymore. I used to eat it every day. Now it's like,
uh,
yeah, it's terrible, dude, but it's like so good.
it's so
Cause,
good.
cause what you said, man, it made me think of balance. My coworker, who I won't name for obvious reasons, but
Hmm.
he he's older, but he has a routine that he stuck to for 20, 30 some years.
Holy.
He goes to the gym religiously 4 or 5 days a week. He does 2 or 3 days in a row, and then after that, his body just tells him it's time for a break. He comes in every morning to work. Always has his berries, his blackberries, his whatever blueberries, strawberries.
Yeah.
After the gym, every single morning, he drinks a protein shake, and not only that, but he consistently eats healthy. On the flip side of that, if you come in on one of his days off and you see him eat lunch, he's gonna get like a quarter pound steak burger with a side of fries and a drink. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
it's a balance too. Like
Yeah, like
from what
cheat
you said,
days.
not necessarily eating unhealthy all the time, but not cutting it out to where you feel miserable. You got to have that balance, because
Balance.
that's what I'm trying to work on. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't eat
Consistency.
pizza all the time anymore, but when I do, that's my reward. Like, I'm thinking, okay, once every week, maybe once every 2 weeks now, sometimes longer. On average, it might be that, but sometimes I go a few weeks to a month without eating it now, which sounds crazy for most people who are out there listening to this, and you know me personally. Don't hold it against me. I'm just better in my health, but like, holy cow. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about it now, like all the pizza that I used to eat, man. And I used to be, because I'm, like I said, man, I'm right in the middle.
Yeah.
I used to be 30, 40 pounds heavier, maybe
Mhm.
more. I didn't weigh myself when I was at my heaviest. Nobody wants to weigh themselves when they're at their
No,
heaviest, man.
because you look in the mirror, you can just tell.
So yeah, I mean, and that's when I used to eat pizza every day. So now that I don't, I just naturally lost weight. But it was some conscious decisions that I made too. Like, I need to not eat this snack right now, or whatever. Or if I don't eat this snack now, then I'll eat a snack tomorrow and reward myself. But it's a balance, right? If I go
Yeah.
to the gym today, then I'll eat healthy. But if I don't go tomorrow, then I'll have a cheat day. It's a balance, dude, and it's tough. It's tough because you
Yes.
you can get out of balance so easy.
Yeah, you really can, dude. And for me, sacrifice is a big thing. Consistency and sacrifice. If you're wanting to progress, in the gym, you can sacrifice certain foods and sacrifice certain workouts for things that you want to focus on. And not only that, but having the willpower to eat healthy, such as, chicken and rice, because that's the most basic healthy thing that you can think of,
Of
right?
course. Yep.
Yeah,
Chicken and rice
and
diet. Yep.
yeah, chicken and
Little
rice
broccoli.
and broccoli. Yeah, there you go. I was just about to say that, broccoli. And
Yep.
if you're willing to sacrifice some more, so consistency, balance. If you have one side of the week, like a day and a half of you eating whatever you want, and then a day and a half of eating strictly healthy stuff. If you're wanting to sacrifice certain weeks, so say you want to cut days and a half to where you were eating whatever you want and make that healthy as well. That right there will help you progress even more. So say how you were talking about like 6 months earlier. If you go do this over 6 months, you'll have more progression than you did if you did it with a balance. You know that's a very big thing to take into consideration as well, because
Right.
you'll feel motivated, and that's something that I would personally do. Not everybody's
Right.
the same though.
Well, and what's nice to remember is you have to have that balance because otherwise it's not sustainable. Like
Yeah, that
I
too.
get advice from my coworker all the time, the one I just mentioned. He tells me all the time, yeah, man, I eat whatever I want to a certain extent, but I know that whatever I want changes, and he wants to eat healthy on the days he goes to the gym. So finding the balance where you're not forcing yourself to eat healthy because you want you really don't want to eat healthy today. You really just want to fast forward to tomorrow where you can eat unhealthy. You want to find a balance where you enjoy both to a certain extent, to where on certain days if you go to the gym, then you feel good enough to want to eat healthy, and then on the days you don't go to the gym, you feel good enough to just slack off a little bit. And for me, almost every single day, 5 days a week I'm at work. I got it down to almost a religion now, man. Like I enjoy it so much. This has been every day for 3, 4 months, maybe, like almost since the
Really?
beginning of the year. What I do every single day, I eat Greek yogurt, which is a Chobani brand. I love it. I switch it up sometimes. I get strawberry banana, whatever. It has a little added sugar, but there's a lot of nutrients and it's
Yeah,
very
those are
good.
so
I
good,
get
dude.
some, because some people just don't know what to eat. So I'm just gonna rattle off what I eat right now.
Yeah, go
And
ahead.
I'm balancing it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it takes time. So you just got to build better habits. I do a Chobani Greek yogurt every single morning, and I get some granola to mix in with it. Normally, I get the lower sugar, which the Kind brand is really good for you. Sometimes I'll get the regular honey and oat, or I'll get chocolate granola, whatever. I switch it up. Um, then for a snack, I have these little mini single serve guacamole things, which guacamole is great for you too, and the chips that go with it are not necessarily good, but it's still a balance, you know what I mean? And it's just a single serving, so it's like a super small serving of it, and after that I'm done. I don't have to worry about overeating because it's portioned for me. And that I stick to religiously. So that's like my yogurt, and the protein granola is what I normally get with that. That's my breakfast because I get enough protein to where that fills me up. And then for the most part throughout the day I drink mostly water or some variation of it. Sometimes I'll have juice, but not necessarily the sugary juice. I'll do like a body armor, but the light version without all the added sugar.
Yeah.
Because the body armors have really nice nutrients too, and they're not good for you to drink all the time necessarily, but they're nice to have, especially after a workout
Yes,
or after you
potassium.
after you wake up. Yeah, potassium's in there. There's a lot of good nutrients. It's just reading the label sometimes. You got to figure out added sugar is not good most of the time. Like
No, no.
in general, a little added sugar is fine. It goes a long way though. A little bit's
Yes.
good, and if too much is not good. I don't drink any of the regular Powerades or regular Gatorades anymore because it's got too much sugar. I drink the zeros instead, which it's still got sweetener in it, which is technically still not good for you. But again, it's a balance.
It's better than, yeah.
I sometimes enjoy wanting to have that sweet taste, and then I go right back to water because when I'm at work, I drink mostly water, and when I'm not at work, I drink some of the more juicy, flavory drinks to balance it out. And then, some days I don't stick to it at all. So, like I said, it's a balance, but that's what I do. So, and I stick to it because I enjoy it. That's what I was just saying. Like you have to enjoy it. You have to find healthy foods that you enjoy so much to where you can stick to it. It's not even if you have the discipline or if you have the willpower to stick to it. You're gonna stick to something more if you enjoy it. and if you figure out how to enjoy it. So
Yeah.
I'm in the point right now where I'm trying to figure out how to enjoy the gym instead of making it feel like a chore, you know?
Exactly, man. Staying in that mindset is so good. Not only that, but with your food as well. Having a great relationship with your food, having mostly positive relationships with your food is very, very big. For me, I like here recently, I have been trying to focus on what makes me feel good and taste good.
Yes.
Just like you said, right? What in the mornings I would like try to focus on eggs because I love eggs, man. But I also try to implement some like vegetables here and there. And when I'm out at work or something, I have this bad habit of going to the gas station right across the street.
Yeah,
And
Casey's.
Casey's, dude.
Oh, Casey's so
Oh,
fire, bro. That
their
breakfast pizza,
pizza.
bro.
Oh, it's
Oh,
so good. And
don't get
that's
me
what I was.
started, bro.
That
I'm
was.
hungry right now. I could smash a whole Casey's pizza, bro.
Yeah, man, their pizza is just like crack. It's insane. I cannot stay away from it, especially their breakfast pizza. If I go there in the morning and they have breakfast pizza, dude, I can't help myself. But there's also those days where I'm just like, I do not need this because if I eat this right now, not only will I feel like crap, but I also get really bloated from the greasy pizza. You know,
Of course.
if it's the first thing that I eat when I get up and I go to work, uh, it's just gonna make me feel awful. So an alternative to going to Casey's, and this goes for a lot of people because a lot of people can't make food before work, or so they go to the gas station to get food. There's a lot more healthy choices at gas stations than you know. There's
Yeah,
protein bars. There's I wouldn't say Rice Krispies is healthy, but you can also use that to just satiate you for a while. Rice Krispies is better than getting a pizza, in my opinion, because pizza is so carb filled more than anything else, and yeah, I don't need the unneeded carbs.
of
if you're
course.
if you're
Definitely.
trying to go to the
And
gym, you
dude,
don't need
Rice
those.
Krispies in general, not to interrupt, but I just thought of this. Like, Rice Krispies in general, like if you're getting the single serve ones, they're very small, you know?
Yeah,
And so it's not too bad if you wanted to have one of those. There's some sugar in it or whatever, but it's a smaller portion of it. So that's important too.
moderation,
Yeah.
balance. Yes, that's why those things are there, man. That's why they're that size.
Exactly, because if you
That's
have a
what they're
sweet tooth,
for.
that's fine, but you can't get the extra large king size fucking Kit Kat, you know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
you want a Kit Kat, just, snag a mini Kit Kat or something and tie you over. But don't, because I have a problem with that too. Kit Kat's my favorite candy bar, bro. How
Oh,
am I
I
supposed to
love
give
it.
that up, man? But
Yeah, but
if I go to the
have you
gas
ever
station, I get the king size version, I eat the whole thing. You know how many calories and sugars in that, bro?
yeah.
It's like 800 some calories, man.
For me, man, whenever I get a Kit Kat and it's one of those really, really big ones, I after eating like half of it and my mouth is just full of sugar, it starts to like taste bad in a way. It's just I feel overbeared with sweetness. And not only
Yeah.
that, but like you said, it just feel like shit afterwards.
Yep, for sure. Not only that, but then your cravings change too. Sometimes when you eat sugar, you want more sugar. I know
Yep.
some people like that where, that happens to me. If I'm eating chips, sometimes I just can't stop. I got the flavor of chips in my mouth, which makes me think about chips, which makes me want to eat more chips. In general, just staying away from it can help sometimes. But if you
Habits.
do indulge, smaller portions are important for sure.
Yeah, portions
For sure.
are very, very big, man. Like just like you said earlier, balance, moderation. That's what comes in the big key when it comes to eating foods that you want to still enjoy.
Yeah. I think one of the last things that I want to talk about, and if you got some more stuff, feel free to chime in. But I think what's most important in terms of sticking to that daily routine would be your environment. Because, like you said, this made me think of it. You work right across the street from Casey's, man. How you supposed to
Oh,
resist a Casey's, man?
I
And
know,
that's
man.
not
It's
your
probably
fault.
why I'm
That's just your
fat.
job. That's just your job. People don't choose where they work for the most part. Like if they want to work somewhere, they don't choose location of it. It's just there. Like they go there to work because it exists.
hmm
They could choose whatever job, but if they choose that job, they don't choose the location it's at. So the environment too, especially if you want to get into working out, you need to find two, three, four people maybe that work out already. And if you don't know anybody, go back to that social media thing that you said. Follow two, three, four people that work out on a consistent basis and just try to study what they do, because that's what I do. Like I said, going back to my coworker, I study what he does. I ask him questions. I look at his routine, and he eats berries every day. He has no health problems. You know, he eats Greek yogurt a lot. He eats guacamole a lot, and he does have his moments where he cheats. But like he tells me all the time, it's a balance. That's why most people don't stick to stuff, because they think they have to cut out everything, and you don't. A burger here and there is not going to kill you. A burger every day, twice a day, 3 times a day, you know, that's gonna that's gonna hurt. You know,
Yeah, it's gonna take
so
a toll.
that's just part of, you know, your environment too. Like if you got people that are eating like that a lot, it makes it more tempting. Not saying you got to cut those people out of your lives, but you just have to be self-aware of it, because if you just unconsciously fall into that trap every time where somebody orders pizza for lunch and they work with you, then you're probably gonna, you know, especially for me, like if somebody orders pizza, I'm like, man, I really want some pizza, but there are times where I know that I'm gonna want it, and I know I brought my food, and I want to stay healthy that day, so I tune it out. I'm like, somebody offers me two slices of pizza or whatever. I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. I have my own food. So that too, like your environment, trying to find the people who are in that right mindset so you can stick with it. That's
Yeah.
important.
Also, another thing that comes with gym, staying motivated is a big key, right? Like that's what this whole thing's about. Knowing what you want to do, such as like yoga or strength training or bodybuilding or just all around getting your cardio up. That's something that you need to figure out that what you like in the gym. Because that will not only help you motivate yourself, but you can also set more certain goals that you can try to achieve.
Yeah.
For
And
me, yeah,
go ahead, bro. I don't
for,
mean to
for
interrupt.
for for me, I've always just looked at people and think, damn, this guy's freaking huge. He's shredded. This is what I want to look like. And it is my goal one day to have a six pack abs. Like that. It's not my goal. It's my dream at this point. It's a big dream that I want to pursue, and I want to find a way to pursue it so that I can have have that sort of clarity that I've made it to this point, and I can feel fulfilled. And
Yeah.
if you have that, it's a big motivator. It's something that I really like. Not everybody cares. No, not everybody cares about having a six pack abs. Like, it's just my perspective and what I would like. If you
Of
have that,
course.
if you have that, like if you go to the gym and with the mindset of, oh, I really want to get my cardio up, and you start running, and the first week you're like, oh man, I really feel like crap because running really is just killing me. I'm super sore. I'm not feeling very good. So I'm just gonna take a few days off. And so once you get done with the first week of doing like 4 or 5 days of cardio running, like 1 or 2 miles, the next week you'll start to feel better. You'll notice that it's easier to run. Not as much easier as you think, but it's still progression and it's still noticeable. When you start running, it's easier. You can go farther. You can push yourself even easier. That's a big thing, and that's something that I've noticed here recently that I like as well. Not only that, but I like bodybuilding and cardio. Running is just it's a very good way to let off steam and just actually get lost in your mind. For me, like that's a very big thing.
Dude, 100%. I mean, it's just funny when you said six pack abs, like I couldn't help but think, you know, some of the gym stereotypes that are out there. Some people may be like, ah, he's one of those dudes that pose in the mirror that, you know, show himself off. Which, to be fair, like if you got him, show him off. Like six pack
Yeah,
abs are not easy to maintain, or else everybody would have them. So, you know, and obviously some people are like, oh my God, look at this douche. But like, not everybody's like that. And people are just, like I said, judging by the cover. They see somebody posing in the mirror. And I personally like it. Like I said, if you got it, show it off. You worked hard for it. You should feel good about it. You
yeah.
know? I
If you
think
have
some people
people,
just lose train of thought because it's like it's in public. People might be thinking that there's a different motive behind that person where they're showing off, you know, that I get that. But whatever. So when you said six pack ab, that's what I thought about, like some of the gym stereotypes that
yeah,
people
stereotypes, man.
people think about. You know, like when people clang the freaking weights down and scream and all that stuff. You know, That's what I
That's
thought about.
atmosphere, brother.
It
That's
is, bro.
that's
It
it,
pumps
dude. If
people up.
yeah, at my gym, man, it's not. That's nothing like Planet Fitness. It's local. It's full of people that love to slam weights, and
Yes.
it pushes me so much more than you think. Whenever I see somebody lifting heavy ass weight and they're dropping that shit on the ground, I start screaming. I'm like, yeah, dude, heck yeah.
Of course.
Because that's what I would want somebody to do for me, and in the long run, it helps them too. And for it is a stereotype. You're right. You're right. It is a stereotype. But if people are judging you for certain things that make you happy, that's just kind of them projecting their insecurities, and
Yeah,
that
it
that that
is.
that you should never act on that.
Of
Never.
course.
Because
Yeah, I mean,
that puts other people down and just puts you in a bad mood, man.
of course. Of course. Yeah, don't get me twisted. When I say stereotype, I don't have a bad connotation with that, but some people do. And, for
Yeah.
me, I don't care. I really don't care,
Yeah, you
you
said that
know?
earlier, man. You don't care, and I don't care either. It's just
Yeah,
one of those things people should not be judging, and that's where stereotypes come from. It's just a judgmental thing.
of course. Yeah, I've learned to like detach my emotions from that because somebody could look at me and call me fat, and that's happened before, and that's fine. I am fat, cool. Well, what happens when I'm not? What happens when I figure out myself enough to be able to stick to a routine to where I'm not fat anymore? Then what?
If they
You
hate
know,
you
that's
down,
that's what I use as
yeah.
motivation sometimes,
If
bro. Then
if
it's
they
like,
hate you down,
okay,
bro, they're gonna hate you while you're up. That's for sure.
of course, yeah. And then, like you said, it's just them projecting their insecurities. So,
It's not something you can help, man. That's gonna happen to everybody, and the sooner you realize that, the easier and better off you are.
of course, and that could apply to so many scenarios, not just gym. Like everything we talked about. Obviously, the eating healthy is more specific, but the
Yeah.
environment, trying to be successful, man, the environment is where it's at. You got to really fine tune that and try to make yourself want to go to work or want to do all this. And if you just hate your job, you're not going to want to go to work.
Negative
and
mindset, man.
and finding the things that you do the most and trying to start there. If you're at work 40 hours a week and you're not happy in general, well, then you can look at your job maybe and say, hey, I'm not happy at this job, because that plays in a factor too. Like if you're not in a good mental state because you hate your job, you really ain't going to want to go to the gym either.
Hmm.
And I've been down like that. There's been years, man. This is years of me trying to build myself up and be mentally strong. It's tough. It's not easy. And sometimes I get into this mindset where I I slip back into my old ways where I'm like, man, I just don't feel like doing shit. I don't feel like doing anything. Like I don't want to go to work. And I really like my job too, but sometimes that happens to me. So being in a job that you like is going to help you stay in a more positive mindset, more motivated mindset more often than not, especially if it's the other way around. It's so easy to be negative when everybody around you is negative, you know?
Yeah, when you start to feel that way, man, when you have those days where you just think, "Oh, man, I do not feel like doing anything," and it's like one of those days to where you're just like, "I'm not going to do anything." You've made your mind up. You got to make sure to make deals with yourself. You got to be like, "Okay, if I don't feel like doing anything today, I need to be mentally aware that if I keep doing this, I'm gonna veer off a path that I know I want to stay on." So I have to make a deal with myself. Like, if I want to feel like doing this today, I have to do this another day. It's a balance, like you said earlier.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a very big
Take your
balance.
days off, take the days where you don't feel like doing something, and pushing through is sometimes the answer. Sometimes it's not the answer. Like you just have to be in tune with yourself enough to know it is, like sometimes your body just gives you signs to where you need to slow down, take a rest, whatever. If you're sore, staying like up and moving is good. Stretching is
Yes.
good for when you're sore, but sometimes you just got to relax. So, and it's just like this whole episode, everything we talked about is coming from our personal experience, but everybody has their own different personal experience. So this is just what helps us. But
Hmm.
there's a lot of and there's a lot of mutual benefits between what we said and what other people find helpful. But again, there's these to fine tune yourself and to get into that routine where you think you need a day off, take the day off. You know what I mean? You know yourself better than anybody else knows you. So taking a day off or pushing through it, however you need to stay motivated is fine, but you cannot be on go mode all the time.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You cannot be on go mode all the time.
You can't be. You just can't be, man. It'll drain you. For me, I would get drained. I
Yeah.
don't know if you because
Well, like I said, my body tells me when to stop sometimes, and if I do too much or if I'm on go mode for more than what my body would allow, then my body tells me, "Hey, I need to take a break." And then I do. You know, that's just me though. Some people like Elon Musk, for example, he's just a freak. He's on go mode literally all the time. He probably works
all the
7 days a
time.
week. He probably had I heard something where he was like he had 5 minute schedules. Um, you know, it's just crazy because that is not me, and I know that. I'm self-aware to know that I'm not a 5 minute schedule, 7 day a week, motivated all the time type person, which
Does
is
that dude
fine.
even
For me to
sleep?
be happy, I don't need to be that person.
Yeah.
But for some people it is. So yeah, just figuring out who you are is important too, so
Dude's
that you
a,
can play into that.
dude's a billionaire. Like, it's gonna be hard to relate to that, yeah, but everybody has that certain thing that they need to
No,
do.
no, no, don't get me wrong. I feel like 99.9% of people don't relate to that. I'm just
Oh,
using him as an example. Like, you know, he is wealthy because of his work ethic, which is a very freakish, once in a lifetime type work ethic. You don't see it often, or else everybody be doing it, right?
yeah.
Um, I'm just using that as an example. You know, I know that I'm not gonna have that type of work ethic to be that successful, but success is kind of um, a, it's subjective anyway. Like whatever you need to do to be happy. That's the same with the gym. You know, like I said, not everybody wants to be this super big and bulky Dwayne the Rock Johnson type dude or
Yeah.
woman, and not everybody wants to be super just toned up and you know kind of like a track star where they're just super in shape but they're not bulky, you know. It just depends on what you're trying to do, especially if you are trying to be a track star. You don't want to have that extra weight on you because you need to run fast, that kind of stuff, you know.
Yep.
Just being self-aware enough to know what you want out of it and then make the goals and make it happen.
Always, man. Making goals is so key. I need to make more goals for myself, and I'm sure everybody can relate to that.
Same. And especially if you have a general idea of what you can stick to. For example, this podcast, I made some notes right before we started this episode, actually. I took 30 seconds, and we already talked about making this episode before, but I took 30 seconds. I summarized what we already talked about, and of course, the main topic. But then I had some general notes, and then boom, now we're just having a general conversation, and we hit on some key points, and there you go, you know? But
Yeah.
it works better if you have something to stick to instead of just free flowing it.
Yeah, like here recently, man, I've made the small goal, and this is off topic, by the way. I've made the small goal of doing laundry each week because I don't have a washer and dryer. I have to go to a laundromat, so with that comes a lot more clothes and a lot more laundry. If I go do laundry, if I make the goal of doing laundry at least once a week, then I would tone that down a lot instead of going like once a month. You know, that's a big thing that I focus on here recently. And this week, since I've gotten laundry done, yesterday I told myself, okay, tomorrow you're gonna make a goal of putting your laundry up. So
Sheesh.
it's just goal
Don't
after
even get me
goal.
started on that, man.
It's so hard, man. It really is. And after this, I'm gonna get me a shower and I'm gonna try to fulfill that goal.
Should, man. You should.
It's the smallest goal, and I
You
should be
should.
able to fulfill it.
You should do it. You should do it because of the episode we're doing right now. It kind of fits. You should do it.
It really does, and it's something that I'm definitely doing it now. I'm definitely doing it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I don't know why it's such a such a big goal, but I
Dude, yeah,
got it.
laundry. I feel like everybody struggles with that though. Chores in general. That's why I mean, like, you know, if you don't view it as a chore, you're more likely to do it, even though it is a chore. But like, you know, because I struggle with that too, for sure.
Yeah, it is a chore, but man, you're gonna have all your clothes nicely folded. Your shirts are gonna be hung up. They're not gonna be all wrinkled. It's just it, it's awesome. I love it,
Yeah.
and it makes me feel so good after I've done it.
Actually, the shirt I was gonna wear. Holy cow, my stomach's growling because I'm hungry. I'm about to
You
go get
need
some lunch after this.
yeah, get you some food, bro.
Um, dude, the shirt that I was gonna wear for this episode was wrinkly and I couldn't wear it. That's why I was like, man, I really got to stop. Like, I need to just put my clothes up, make them look nice, you know? Like, I don't know why I do that. That's something I struggle with, you know? And life is always a, um, you know, make yourself better type environment, I guess. Like, you always want to do things to make yourself better. There's always something that needs to be done, so it's impossible to stay on top of everything, at least for me. But I
Yeah.
always try to wake up and be like, okay, I know there's stuff that needs to be done. What can I work on, even if it's small, just to keep my production going.
Hmm. Why is it some days that like we would feel like we feel so good, and then the next day we just feel awful? Do you think it's because we don't set goals, or we just forget what we want to do?
Um,
I feel like I forget. Feel like I forget a lot of what I should be doing and what I want to do, and not only that, but what I need to be doing if I want to stay on a certain path.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like even if you know the general goal, you might just lose sight of the micro stuff. And
Yeah.
if the micro transactions of you just literally waking up and showing up to the gym, sometimes we overcomplicate it. I know I do sometimes. Literally all you got to do to stay on track is to just do it, but like to elaborate a little more, it's waking, or like for example going to bed a little earlier so that you don't wake up tired and then you can go to the gym before you go to work. That's what I'm trying to work on, and it's so tough because my schedule's inconsistent. So I go to bed later some days, and then when I do wake up, I struggle with waking up so much to where I literally sleep into the last possible second, and then I get up and go. So it's tough because staying on track like that and losing track of it could literally just be you went to sleep late the night before, so then you woke up late and then you knock yourself out of the routine and then you just don't do it that day because you, like, if you're a morning type person for workouts anyway, and you miss your workout, well then it throws it all off. So it just
Yeah.
depends, like, our lives are all dynamic, so whatever's going on in our lives would kind of be a product of who we are. So it just depends. I mean, because there's always shit going on. People always got, you know, shit going on where like, oh, they just lost their job or whatever. So because that could keep somebody down too. I lost my job. I don't feel like doing anything today. It just depends.
Yeah, it does.
But
And
being self-aware enough to know is good too. Like I've hit on that a few times already, but that is because everybody's situation different. But if you know your situation and you're aware of everything that's happening, at least you can combat it a little more. A
yeah.
lot of people say, oh, the first step to solving your problem is admitting you have a problem or whatever. But if you don't kind of look at yourself and self-reflect enough to know that you have a problem, you don't even try to fix it because you don't know it's a problem. Like it's starting with things like that, I would say.
Yeah, the root one of the big things too is routine. And that seems like something that we've dabbled on this whole time. But if you stick to a certain routine, you will be able to do things that you want to do. Like routine puts you in this natural rotation of just doing certain things that need to be done and stuff that you want to have done. And it's very important.
It is, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Um, I tell you what, man, I feel like I got everything out that I need to say. How about you?
Yeah, me too. I just went
Dude,
through some of my notes as well, and
I
I've said pretty much everything.
yeah, I was just looking at everything just now as you were finishing up. Like, yeah, I feel like we talked on everything, and I'm sure we can probably recharge and maybe do a part two to this.
Oh hell yeah,
And maybe like a follow up. What did you learn? What did you stick to? That kind of thing. That'd be fun. Maybe.
yeah.
I think we could do that.
Or maybe just like a follow up onto like what we're doing and how we're doing.
Yeah. Look,
That would be
large.
really good as
This whole
well.
podcast is just an average guy like me trying to do something and bring my mindset to the world because I feel like I have a lot to offer and I'm still human. So there's a lot of things I'm still working on myself, and I show that a lot. I don't have a general idea of a topic. I don't stick to time limits. I don't do none of that professional stuff. I'm just an average guy, but I like doing it. So it is what it is.
Yeah, there you go.
So, Devin, man, since this is your first time on the podcast, I always like to close the episode with a question and answer to try to leave people thinking about stuff, like a Q&A. So is there any questions that you want to ask and maybe answer, like ask me and then I'll answer it, or something that you want to answer in general before
Oh
we
man,
wrap it up?
I wish you would have asked me this ahead of time. You didn't tell me about this, man. Oh,
No, you're good, bro. It's something I like to do, but I did not have anything planned for it because this is a special episode. I just wanted to see if there's any last thoughts or anything you guys had. Or
Um,
not you guys. I'm talking in general. You had
talking,
any
yeah.
last thoughts you had?
Speaking from a third perspective,
Yeah,
huh?
I know, right? It's crazy. See, there you go. Mistakes happen. I'm just an average
Yeah,
guy.
that's all right, man. Any questions or answers? For me, it would just be make small goals. If at the end of this, I really want you to take from everything that we've just said, make small goals because once you're doing that and you're succeeding in the goals, it really helps and it puts you into this mindset. That's what I've been trying to do recently. It's been working.
That's good, man. Sure. Yeah, like what are you doing on a day-to-day basis to be successful? I feel
There
like
you
that's a
go.
good
Exactly.
question, like to ask the audience. Like, ask yourself that from what Devin just said. You know, he's making micro goals because the macro comes whenever you do micro, right?
Yes.
You just got to get the routine down, and then literally 6 months go by, and you've done the routine, you've eaten healthy, and you look good. So, what are you doing to be successful every single day? And really just writing it down. Like maybe you have a reminder that pops up on your phone every day to remind you of what you should be working on, so you stay on track. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. You could get a sticky note, you put it on your desk, so that when you look at it every day, you can take 5 minutes, literally, and I mean literally do this. Take 5 minutes to look at that and just reflect. Okay, what am I doing? How can I stay on track? What can I do physically today to stay on track? Dude, that's a good closing statement. I like that for sure.
Yeah, it's very good, man.
For sure. All right, man, Devin, you've been a pleasure to talk to. I
Of course,
love you
brother.
so much as my
I
best
love you
friend,
too,
bro.
man.
I
I
hope we
love you
get to
too,
do this
bro.
again. I
We
hope we
will
get
for
to do this
sure.
again because you are the right person for this kind of episode. Like I said, maybe we do a part two or something, but it's a pleasure, man. So
It was a pleasure,
anyway,
guys.
for those listening and watching, again, it's my boy Devin. He's a great guy, giving me his gym expertise. If you liked this episode, please like it. And then if you're on Spotify or YouTube, whatever, subscribe, follow. You know, I got to shout it out sometimes. I don't normally look at the analytics, but I would like to get this out to more people. So if this helped you, share it with somebody. If it didn't help you, I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. All right. That's all I got to say. So anyway, I'll see you guys for episode 10. This is 9, which is crazy. 9 episodes in, right? Almost 2 months, 3 months. See you episode 10. Episode 10 is going to be pretty sweet. I got some notes already for that. So anyway, see you guys next time. Peace.